Good afternoon, lovelies. Welcome to the birthday special of this broadcast. And yeah, it's the Sunday Live, the Soulful Sunday Live. As you know it, that's how we do things here. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready with your drinks, right? Because it's a party up in here. Just to clarify a few things, it was not my birthday yesterday. All right. It wasn't my birthday yesterday. However, it is my birth month. My birthday is on the 25th of this month, 25th of February. That's my birthday. Okay. So now, you know how we do things here. Okay, you come through that door, you come in style, you give me the love, pop in the hearts, give me the love. This girl deserves some love. It is the birthday special after all. So, you know how we do it. Okay, sister. I'm allowed to throw, tantrums. I'm a birthday girl after all. Okay, no tantrums up in here. Okay, I'm just being a little diva because it's my birthday. All right. Okay, no diva tendencies. I am so happy to have you here and to host you again on this broadcast. As I've mentioned, it's my birthday special. Right. So we're going to do things a bit differently this Sunday. We are going to have a presentation. I've prepared a little something for you, like I said. So today we're doing things differently. So let me switch on over to the slides, okay? So that we start. All right. If this is your best month as well, and you're a fellow Pisces, I am saying big ups, big ups, big ups to us. Okay, so yeah, I'm in a celebratory mood because it's my birth month, but in particular, 25th of February is my birthday. So let's go right ahead. Let's start. Don't be alarmed. As I've mentioned, I'm going to switch screens now. I'm going to be going right into my presentation. So stay with me, okay? I'm still going to be talking to you, but I'm about to switch on to the presentation mode. Okay. So today I thought, let me just talk about the life story, So I'm starting with a quote that every life has a story. Everyone has a life story to play. If you leave yours and involved in other, you will lose character in both. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can pardon me there. So now I want us to go back to the beginning of the presentation, and I hope you can bear with me. All right. So this is where we are now. This is a presentation by me, and it is titled Accepting Other People's Life Stories. I've spoken at length about the value of a life story. What is your life story? I remember the other day we spoke about dealing with the mirrors and the triggers in your life. So, but this being a birthday special is that I want us to also understand that when you born, when you come into this world, right, you don't come into a vacuum. You come into the world that is occupied by other fellow humans. So it is important, therefore, how you navigate and how you show up for yourself and how you show up as yourself um, in relating with the others. So the today's uh, presentation is on accepting other people's life stories. All right. So, okay. So it is important to realize that those around us have their story too. So we have a choice, right? We have a choice whether we choose to judge it. You can be judgmental and stand back and say, "Oh well, that is not how you need to navigate through life," or all sorts of judgments that you can pass on other people. You can also choose um, to change people, which is going to be very, very, very exhausting because the moment you try and change other people, it is going to be very exhausting because you are trying to get into a terrain of something that you cannot control, right? So it is important that you understand that. We can also try to influence it, right? You can try and influence people and tell them how to live their life, and maybe they mean a lot to you, so you are really doing this from a good place, right? From a place of trying to fix things for the better, to fix things for the better good, right? But what is important is that acceptance is key in everything that you can do. What will bring you peace is just accepting and knowing that you cannot change things, certain things, and you have to accept things that you cannot change, and that will bring you a peaceful mind. And because I teach specifically on the value of incorporating mindfulness in our lives, it is the reason why I choose to focus on acceptance, because only when you accept things as they are, then you will know how to deal with them. Then you will know what is the next step that needs to be undertaken. Okay. So the next slide is, what is it going to be? Just think about it for a moment. Are you going to obsess with changing people? Because most of us do. The challenge with most of us who want to change situations, um, we try and create this utopia of a situation, right? And that is the challenge that we face, because we create our own life story, and that is dependent on other people's life stories, that is dependent on changing other people's life stories. Okay. So if you create your own life stories, um, and when you spend your energy, when you spend your whole life's worth trying to change other people and trying to change their perspective, you're overworking yourself. And the subconscious mind, you're not operating at a subconscious level. You're only operating at a logical level where it's only 10% of your full capability. So imagine if you were to try and take a V6 engine, or a V6 vehicle, or a V6, the car that is meant to be a powerful race car, and then you try and operate it at a, an engine of like a 1.1, engine capacity. What's going to happen? You are going to overwork that engine, because the make of the vehicle is such that it is meant to operate at a high level. So that is what happens when we choose to engage the subconscious level and how we interact with others, in how we make our life's choices. And then we also see others' story as not congruent with our story, or what we want for ourselves, or other people around us. And we also want then that person to play a particular character. We want now to take over. We want to take a pen and write other people's story. Like, I'm referring back to the quote that I opened with, to say, when you're trying to meddle in other people's life stories, not only do you lose space and position in yours, but you are now losing position and your role in that person's life story as well. So try not to find congruency, try not to push it, right? When you accept, then things fall into place. When you accept, congruency will fall into place anyway, because you'll find that you're doing that and this person is not cooperating. This person doesn't share the vision that you are trying to bring on board, and that on its own creates conflict. And that is how we then sit with conflict in relationships, or in relationships with others, because we are trying to create a situation that is sort of impossible at the time, or maybe we are not allowing the environment to take its own. Because sometimes when you make decisions, you need to look at the ecology of your decision. You need to look at the consequences, because no matter how good you mean, no matter how well meaning you are, you need to take into cognizance the full ecology of your decision, right? So, mindfulness is really an important aspect in how we relate with others. Harmony is not the absence of conflict, it's apathy. I totally love that, because we may think that when there is harmony, it means there's no conflict, but it could just happen that it's apathy. So, that is something I am not going to dwell in. I want you to think about it, chew on it, and understand what it means to you. So, what I would advise, or how the mindful way of dealing with situations would be for you to meditate on how you show up, right? How you show up for yourself. How do you show up, um, you know, in situations? Because we are a summary of our lived experiences. And that means that we need to be aware that as much as we have a life story that we have acknowledged and we're working on it, perfect. But this is not school where you get a merit and a jacket that is full of accolades. This is life. So you need to understand that in as much as you've got your own life story, which by the way is not perfect, but you have worked on it or you're still working on it, the other person also has their own life story, and we need to acknowledge this. All right, and we need to acknowledge that as much as we choose to have people around us we also can choose how we relate to these people. And that is something that is within our reach. That is something that we can consciously decide to do. So it is really, really, really up to us. And yeah, it is just, these are just some of my reflections, as understanding that I am now, celebrating another year. Well, I'm about to celebrate another year added into my life. So it is important that we take stock into how we live our lives and how we show up, as ourselves and around others. So, and how to accept other people's stories, really, which is a mindful perspective on what we do and how it impacts others. Like I've said, it's an ecology of our decisions, because everything that we do has an impact. So it is up to us to understand whether we are happy or we can tolerate that impact. Is it for the greater good? Does it harm anything? Because even if there's a good intention, you have to be very aware that even good intentions can have negative consequences. So you have to be very careful about the ecology of your decisions. I'm stressing that the ecology of your decisions should be totally understood and taken into consideration before we or in how we conduct our lives. So, how do we then apply mindfulness in dealing with other people's life stories? So, you need to detach. Don't personalize everything. Don't personalize other people's stories. Remember that their actions and behaviors have more to do with their story. It has nothing to do with you at all, because we are also just a collection of the exposure, the environments that we are exposed to. We create our own life stories based on other people's stories. Who you are right now is probably dependent on what your parents have taught you, what your teachers have taught you. It has nothing to do with whether those are good values or not, because that is a decision you have made according to what makes sense to you. So that is why in mindfulness we remove judgment, because for as long as you come with that self confirming attitude that only my way is the right way, it is time that you really think about applying mindfulness, because you remove the judgment and you detach from the story, you detach from other people's stories, so that you stop judging them. So you need to remember that they are simply and merely showing up as themselves. And that is not an act. So it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with who they are in the total aspect of really what has made them who they are. At this moment, I am willing to accept any questions if you have any, or any additions, if you want to um, talk about what your experiences have been in terms of accepting other people's stories. Yes, this conversation, like any other at Mindful with Purpose, does not end here. We keep on, we spark conversations, right? That we talk about even way after this live has ended. So you are more than welcome to engage and interact with me. So you need to also get perspective. Perspective is everything. You need to see perspective, see things for what they are, right? What are some of this person's life experiences that have created their story that may not even, they may not even know that this part of their story, or that this is part of their story, or they may not even recognize their own patterns, right? So you standing out here judging a person, or affirming that things should be this way or that way, but a person is not even aware. So who's overworking themselves here? You. Who is affecting their peace? You. So understand that in relationships there are two people. It is I and you. So, isn't this picture that I've put here so cute? Just look at this. It is I and you. So, this is you, and you have things, and you have experiences, you have traumas, you have everything that I have in a different way. So our stories are not the same, even if we grew up in the similar environment, because everybody is living their life story according to their own life experiences. Even twins cannot have similar life stories, living in the same house, having been born of the same mother. It is always, always, always going to be different life experiences, different life stories. So recognize that and accept it. All right. Um, right. We are almost towards the end. So just also know and understand. Don't be this guy, who's sad and worried about things they cannot control. Understand you do not have an answer within you. Keep in mind that you do not have understand why this person have that kind of a story. You don't even understand why you have your own life story. You don't understand fully, even if you have started engaging in a personal or inner work. There are things that you still might not understand even today. So why can't you give the other person a break? So understand that. Do not spend all your time and energy trying to figure out other person's life story, right? Humans are complex, and don't drive yourself crazy trying to overwork yourself about things. Focus on your own life story. Focus on how you can make your own life story better. Focus on the ways to synergize and harmonize with this person in a way that is building, in a way that is constructive, right? Because if you're sitting in your corner thinking that's wrong, I'm right, I'm going to fix you, it's just only going to drive you crazy. Right? So take it from birthday girl. Right? And this is the highest level of self-care. I decided to dedicate this on the birthday because I believe that we were born to come into this earth and to have like a blissful life ever. You were meant to live a life of ease. It's just, we have to find ways of navigating this life and making it, you know and making it comfortable for ourselves. So we need to understand the things that, if we're driving ourselves crazy and going down the route that is not going to make it any easier, we need to stop it. We need to stop it. We need to just accept and, yeah, just live a mindful life, which is not a perfect life, but a life of understanding that it begins with me. If it has to be, it starts with me. So yeah, man, you need to relax. Don't sweat the small stuff. Like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. It doesn't mean that you need to pretend as if things are not going. There are ways of talking about things. Don't leave things hanging either. Just I think there has to be a sequel to this, because so that we can they I think there are two elements in how other people life stories affect us, so you need to understand that. I think if you book a session with me, we can go deeper into these things, right? So if this is talking to you and it's touching you, you're more than welcome to call me and book a session. But yeah, I can talk until, yeah, until cows come home. Yeah. So anyway, accept that there are things you cannot change. That cannot be stressed enough. And we've gone through our codes, and yes, that is it. Every life has a story. Understand that everyone has their story to play. If you leave yours and involve another, you will lose your character in both. Excuse the um, typos. All right. So yes, we have come to the end of our special broadcast. I hope that you have enjoyed it as much as I have. And yes, so I told you that I had something special for you. So I really, 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 really want to reach out to you to really digest what we've spoken about today. Think about it, meditate on it, and really just go through it and see how it improves the quality of your relationships. And right, um, I still am available for your coaching sessions. We still have a running course of mindful scripting, because after taking those things into consideration, then you may have a lot to write about, right? You may have a lot of things that you need to fix with the universe, and you can do that through the practice of scripting. And I will continue talking about it and teaching more on the practice of mindful scripting. Look out for the posts that we put out. I'm thinking of writing another blog post that is going to specifically address the issue of mindful scripting. So thank you, lovelies, for joining me today. I am super, super, super excited, and I hope you've had a lovely time with your drinks. I've got mine over here. So yeah, cheers from the birthday girl. And as always, you need to know and understand that you are loved, you are guided, and you are definitely supported. And as for me, Coach Nelisa, I am saying totally welcome and appreciated for spending yet another soulful Sunday with me on my birthday special. How special can that be? So thank you, lovelies. God bless.